going to be talking about improving learning and development through marginal gains. There we go. So in learning and development, what we can get caught up with is big change programs, culture change, training programs, make big plans for everything, which can be fine, except when we want to improve what we do, that's not always the way to think about it. If we think about marginal gains and what elite athletes tell us that if you want to improve and be competitive, you need to take lots of looks at what you're doing, lots of ways that you can be better. Not just one thing, make one thing better, but lots of small things. What does that mean? It means that they take the things they do really well. They take it and they go, I do that really well, I want to make it better by that much. If I can do that in lots of ways, then I improve everything. I don't just improve one thing. And that's quite a strength, and it's quite different. So the secret here is, when we think about improving ourselves, is not to just look at one thing or two things and go, we need to change all of that. It's actually, what are the small things we can do along the way? Because those small things make a big difference. And you have to remember that these elite athletes, they've got strengths in multiple areas. So they're good with this, they're used to it. The feedback and the criticism they get is an essential part of how they do this well. So we can think about that and take insights from that. In learning and development, I think we can take that concept of marginal gains and think about, so how do we take that and do what we do better? How do I improve what I do so we can deliver a better service? The ways I think we can think about that is through experimenting. When we experiment, it allows us to test ideas, get out there, think about things, get the feedback, get evidence, figure out the impact and performance improvement. Did it do any of that? And what that helps us to do is it helps us to say, actually, what was good about it? What worked? What didn't work? How can I be better as a professional? Does it improve the service I provide? If it does, great. How do I do more of that? And then further, it allows us to reflect and think about, so actually, what does this mean for me as a professional? I want to be great. I want to be the best I can be. How do I enable that in the people that I'm delivering to, what that service is? And that reflection is important, and it's a key part of how we improve. It helps us to think about the process. Does the process that we are going ahead with, is it a blocker? Often it is, because we're saying you have to go through these hurdles to get to the place you want to be. That's not what people need. We need to be a bit more adept at moving quickly. So when we think about the old way, we think about the new way, we need to think about, okay, so how am I doing that? How am I helping people move from point A to point B in a way that makes sense, is easy, and accessible to them as well? Because we can get caught up in doing these complex process maps, where we really build in the complexity of it has to be this group, those leaders this way, that way. It doesn't really. It can be nice and easy, clear, just get through to where you need to be. And we also need to think about, what's that future vision? Where is it I want to get to? Because if I can help you get from here to there, and it makes sense, it's relevant, and it's easy to do, then that's all we need to think about, that clear goal, and what does that help us to get to? You can also then think about, how do we share that information? How do we create that narrative? Because I want to be the one that drives the narrative. I don't want other people to create it for themselves. That's what these guys have done. And it allows us to be able to think about, how do we communicate that in interesting and different ways? It's not just about sending out the email, this is a great job, look what I did, or the presentation, I am great, look what I did. It's also about, how do we keep the regular comms going so people know what's happening on a regular basis. Because the point of it is, when we have those word-of-mouth conversations, when I'm talking down, when I'm sitting down and talking with you to think about how this works, it's about how do we engage with that and keep people thinking about the learning at work. TfL do a great job of this. They help us to know they're doing a good job just because they are, and all they're doing is getting us from A to B, but we think they're really good at what they do, and they are good at what they do. So one other way I think we can improve what we do is by being part of communities in different ways. And that helps us because we understand what better looks like because we're part of the conversation. If we're not part of the conversation, we don't know what better can be because we're not there. These are different ways you can do it. Join a working out loud circle. They're a good way to be able to practice what you need to think about. Listen to some podcasts. I really like the good practice ones. Joining the weekly L&D Connect Insight chats. And so in summary, I think we can improve what we do by looking at marginal gains, improving that in small ways. Experiment, figure out a process. Does it work the way we want it to? What's that new way? And joining different communities of practice.